Well, hello there and good day. Thank you so much for joining me at Dystopian Report, the place where we talk about the nightmare world we have found ourselves in. I'm your host, Jesse Pullman, and today's April 2nd, 2025. I'm making this at about 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, we're looking a little different around here because Streamlabs played an April Fool's joke on me and updated, and I can't roll it back. And this is just how I've had to set up in order to get functionality to record a video that should have been done 24 hours ago. Today, we're going to be talking about Trump claiming his path for him to serve a third term as president. I got some feedback from friends suggesting I cover this, so I will. The short answer is no, there isn't. This is like a bad April Fool's joke, only it's, not funny. The long answer is there really truly isn't, but I have to give you the disclaimer that I myself am not a lawyer. Now, I've taken one or two constitutional law classes in my life. I've read these books a couple of times, and I've also taught the Constitution as a high school social studies teacher. I keep this is from my teaching days. It was always in my bag at all times. Now, Belle of the Ranch made a video about the topic of a third term that explains the technicalities far better than I could. So the link is in the description down below. She's a much bigger channel. Her channel is amazing. They're a great channel. Check them out. They're really good about stuff. They clearly inspire what I do here, right? But I want to go beyond what Belle said about it being a distraction from the myriad scandals the Trump administration is suffering, such as Signalgate, the dead soldiers in Lithuania, Liberation Day coming up today or tomorrow or whatever you want to call it. It's early in the morning here, man. And, I think he's looking to sow the seeds of doubt among those who would object to him having a third term, but don't fully understand why they're objecting. See, Trump wants to have the discussion because he intends ad nauseum to bring this up. He intends to hammer us over the head with the idea of him getting a third term somehow being constitutional, to the point that we start to doubt ourselves. He hopes to begin to hallucinate ways to, as Jamel Bowie, I hope I said that right, of the New York Times put it, abuse the language of the Constitution. Keep that in mind, abuse the language of the Constitution. Also explain ways that Trump could sully the spirit of the 22nd Amendment by following its letters without its spirit. I personally am not convinced he intends to ever relinquish power, not voluntarily. So he needs to get the message out early and often that his power has no expiration date, written in stone at least. Maybe he'd simply postpone elections, maybe he'd cancel them outright, maybe he'd simply hold an unfair one. But I really do think he's going to have power after January 20th, 2029. Which is like Terminator times, man. Wow. So, think about it. Through his lackeys, he and his government are black-bagging people off the street and deporting them to concentration camps. We've got a few of those. We've got Gitmo, we've got one in El Salvador, we've got one in Panama. Who's to say he stops at 2 terms? He's not following the Constitution already. He's not doing things like habeas corpus and anything like that. He's just disappearing people. Why wouldn't we be wary that he'd at least try some kind of scam for a third? How do we stop it? Well, this weekend on April 5th, there's going to be a National Day of Protest. This National Day of Protest is, as many have criticized it for being, just one day, right? But here's the thing. We've talked previously about the big list of protests and how there's always going to be something like a Tesla takedown near you, or there's something you can organize. If you feel there's not enough being done, but you have some strength and time to put in, do it. Figure it out. Join an organization. Does that stop this? No. I mean, he could just order the troops to gun down the protesters. I'm going to be out there. I'm afraid that might happen where I live. I live in a county that has recently established basically a brown shirt force, a militia. So, is that going to stop it? Not necessarily. But is it going to present a wall that says no, hands off? Yes, that might happen. So it's just one step in a much larger game of chaos, and some might say thrones, because Trump did declare himself a king, didn't he? Yeah. looking ahead for the channel, we're about to hit the 25th episode, so I'm gonna make that kind of like a review of like how this channel is doing and also how we are doing things. We're hoping to hit 75 subscribers soon. We're hoping to hit 100 by the end of the year. It's a long way off, but it's a lot of subscribers to gain. So if you want to help out with that, the number one thing you can do is subscribe to this channel and watch it regularly. You know, hit the bell, hit the icon, whatever. I don't know what those things are. Get notifications, I guess. You know, like the video, comment on it, share what you think, be honest. I will respond. I do try to be forthright with my commentators, and, you know, I say what I can, and I will engage with you there. And otherwise, you know, thank you for watching. Thank you all so much. Trump getting a third term is impossible. Thank you all so much for joining me, and as always on this channel, pieces.